The beauty of collecting and modding armor in Destiny 2 to complement weapons and specific subclasses is that sometimes that build will be effective with multiple subclasses. Today we're going to look at a slight variation on a build I showcased for the Titan's Code of the Devastator and how it functions with the Code of the Siegebreaker. Let's get started. The Code of the Siegebreaker was always a viable subclass choice for most of the game's content, but it received some damage buffs and quality of life buffs in patch 2.1.4. that push its effectiveness to the next level. This subclass branch features two abilities with powerful synergy. Sol Invictus is a passive that causes solar ability kills to restore health and create sunspots. Sunspots had their damage increased in the patch. Sun Warrior is another passive that grants you the buff Sun Warrior when you pass through a sunspot. Sun Warrior increases your solar ability regeneration rate while it's active. This does not affect your class ability Barricade. Patch 2.1.4 increased the buff duration from 3 seconds to 5 seconds and added the additional effect of increasing all damage output by 25% while it's active. With those abilities in mind, we want a loadout that's centered around giving us as much ability usage as possible so we can create sunspots. To achieve this, we're using the Armamentarium for our exotic chest piece. It grants an additional grenade charge, and armor perks and mods that are aimed at improving our grenade uptime and effectiveness even farther. Our helmet has Ashes to Assets, which grants bonus super energy on grenade kills. Our boots have Bomber, which grants grenade energy when we activate our class ability. Our class item has Innervation, picking up orbs of light reduces our grenade cooldown, and finally, our gloves should have Impact Induction, but I don't have a pair that has those. But it's fine. Impact Induction reduces your grenade cooldown when you melee an enemy. For mods, we have 4 Ordnance mods for grenade cooldown reduction and 1 Paragon mod for class ability cooldown reduction. Now, this build is packed with a lot of moving pieces, and optimizing it is a little bit more complex than usual, so with that said, let's get out into the field for some testing. And here we go. For today's testing, we are diving into the Strange Terrain Nightfall Strike. We're bringing back that Trinity Ghoul for our exotic weapon. This one is... It's one of my favorites. It's again, I've said this before, it's not as consistent as I would like it to be, but I still enjoy it. But more important than that is going to be how we can optimize our play around the sunspots. So right away, we've got a big old knight with a shield, so let's take that down first, then we'll kill these guys with a grenade and just chill in our sunspot. Now we've gotten a decent amount of cooldown reduction from Sun Warrior already. We'll punch this guy, set up another sunspot, and then we can chill. Our grenade is almost back and ready for us. We'll throw it out. Unfortunately, the knight's going to move out of the way, and we're going to have to reposition ourselves. We got a witch on the horizon. Let's deal with her with our heavy weapon. She's gone behind cover. That's unfortunate. Now, what I would like to do is trigger health restoration by killing an enemy, and there we go. We've also made another sunspot. The sunspot actually going to clean up some enemies for us. As long as we can dip our toes inside it, we'll get that Sun Warrior proc to activate and get a little bit of extra cooldown reduction. So in that first room, we threw a decent amount of grenades. We used our melee ability, and already our 2 grenade charges are almost back again. And that's going to be the beauty of manipulating the sunspots. As long as we're playing intelligently, as long as we are diving into them to get as much benefit as we can from the cooldown reduction, we're going to have our abilities a lot. And we already have our super because we've gotten so many grenade kills, so why don't we activate it and go on a little bit of a rampage. I'm making sure to dip into as many sunspots as I can while I'm walking forward so that I continue to get cooldown reduction. Those sunspots are really cooking right now. They're doing a lot of damage since they got buffed. I don't know exactly how much they got increased by in terms of the percentage, but it's enough to make it feel very, very good when you get that sunspot on a big, thick, stationary enemy like the Hive Knights. It feels very good to watch them get burnt to a crisp. Oh, another one's coming out, but we don't need to deal with him, so we'll let him chill by himself. So already we're seeing the power of this build, and the change to the sunspots, I am absolutely in love with the fact that it increases our damage output by 20% while we have that Sun Warrior passive active. Now, what's interesting about it for me is that the style of gameplay with the sunspots and the damage buff that we get from Sun Warrior does not feel as active as the playstyle that we saw with the Code of the Devastator, with the what is it called, Roaring Flames. The acquiring the Sun Warrior buff feels a lot more passive than the Roaring Flames buff that you get for your abilities. But it still feels nice, right? When I do have that extra damage on my weapons because of the Sunspot and the Sun Warrior, it's really nice. It's nice to have. But it's not, it doesn't feel as snowbally, as wild and rambunctious as having Roaring Flame stacked up to 3 times with Empower, but it's still very nice to have that little bit of a damage boost. Now for this next area, we don't have a grenade just yet, but we have our super back again. That thing is coming back very quickly because of all the grenade kills we are getting. So we'll get a Sunspot on each of those guys, get them cooking up nice. This one managed to slip away from us. Unfortunately, the super not the strongest super in the world. We had to throw a lot of hammers just to kill those guys, but we still did some decent work anyway. And overall, the buffs that this subclass received, they feel great. I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. That's not good. I thought I put it on silent. Ooh, wait. So this is going very quickly. We're blazing through this Nightfall, all because we've got access to our abilities so frequently, and it's making it a bit of a cakewalk. The damage from the enemies got a little bit intense there, but I was able to throw the grenade, secure the kill, and get my health back. The thermite grenade is probably my favorite of the grenades to use with this subclass. I think they are very effective. Now right here things are getting kind of crazy. We're about to get killed by thralls, and that's not good. We'll change that with a single thermite grenade. It's going to wreak some havoc. We'll get in the Sunspot. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to just sit. We're going to sit in this Sunspot, and we're going to let our abilities come back. You know, because we're playing solo right now, so we don't need to worry about holding up the team. We can just get our grenades back, get our melee back, and then be good to go. Okay, so as we move into the final boss room, we're going to struggle quite a bit here. This boss fight can be challenging, but at the same time, we should be able to use our super and the sunspots very, very liberally, and that's going to be nice. And I'm going to save the rest of my heavy ammo because I don't have that much of it remaining. And I know I'm going to need it for the later phases as they come up. Same goes for my grenade. Actually, we'll throw one grenade at knockers. Hopefully it's just enough to knock him back. And what I'm going to do here is wait in the back, and there's going to be an enemy that spawns out of that hole and another one that spawns on the opposite side of the arena. And I'm just going to deal with this one first with a grenade, and the other one I'll deal with next. So we just chill, deal with these thralls. Here we go. Enemy's starting to come out of the hole. Get that sunspot, and I'm going to stand in it. Fun fact about the sunspot, it stays active longer while you're standing in it. So if you do not stand in the sunspot, then it will deactivate faster. As you can see, we've had the effect of it for, what, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, but a sunspot while you're not standing in it only lasts for about 5 or 6 seconds or so. Alright, so I'm head glitching Nokris a little bit, and that's probably he probably feels bad about it, but okay, so for this next wave we're gonna have a lot of stuff coming at us. We've got witches spawning on either side of the map. So what we'll do is we'll activate our super to deal with the first one, clear up the trash with our sunspots. Second witch is down. And what I love to do with this super is make sure that the last hammer that I throw is a sunspot that I place right down at my feet that I can use for cooldown reduction. There There we go. And we got a heavy ammo brick. So we should be able to just burn down Nocris because he gets a little bit rowdy in this last bit. So let's fire away. I do have high impact reserves on this hammerhead machine gun. So I'm going to spend the entire magazine before activating my rally barricade. Just to, oh, there's one more phase. Feels bad. Alright, well, what we can do for this last part is we can kill a lot of stuff with our grenade so that we get our super back. That one throw just gave us so much. And as the grenade continues to kill things, the sunspot continuing to kill things, we got healing right at the moment when we needed it most, because I was totally about to die there. Again, throwing out the grenade to get more healing. We have our super, we can activate it in a panic if we need to, and I feel like that's going to happen, because this last bit gets a little bit hectic. Another cool thing you can do with the sunspot is use it to burn thralls to death, so as they charge at you, they just die instantly, so that's nice. Throw a grenade at these guys to get another sunspot activation, because I know I'm going to be chilling here for a little while I deal with the ads as they spawn. NANI? Okay, how long was he right behind me? Alright, I think it's time to move. Throw that grenade for another sunspot and some healing, and you know what, it's time for us to go into our super. Killed the first guy. I know there's another. There should be another guy somewhere. Here he is. That should be enough to kill him with the dot damage, and we'll put one more sunspot right at our feet so we get a little bit of cooldown reduction. Let's run out, grab that, throw it at the objective, re-enter the sunspot for the damage buff and the cooldown reduction again. And now we just have to cross by Nocris, but he's playing. What's his name? Ganondorf right now. Thou shalt not pass. I don't know. Never saw Lord of the Rings. There we go. Now we just burn him down and we're good to go. We'll throw out a grenade so we can get some kills on those thralls. That'll give us a little bit of health, and we're not even going to need it because we won. So there we go. I think this was a very strong showing of the capabilities of both the subclass tree, which has always been good, but the buffs that it received are amazing. The damage bonus, again, that you get from the Sun Warrior passive feels like it's passive. It's working in the background. Whenever you get that sunspot, your weapon's going to do a little more damage, your grenade's going to do a little more damage, but it doesn't feel as, we'll say, visceral and impactful as the Roaring Flames buff in tandem with the empowered buff, but I do enjoy that I can just kind of sit back and relax, and as long as I'm actively going into my sunspots, then I'm going to get benefits that are going to work with me as I fight. So yeah, the sunspot subclass, the Code of the Siegebreaker, has always been one of my favorites, and the fact that it got a buff makes it feel that much better, and I enjoy it quite a bit. So I would definitely recommend experimenting with this subclass and the armamentarium with it especially. It's a lot of fun to throw grenades like a wild man. And that's going to do it for the build for today. The next build that we do is going to be for the Hunter, so it's going to be exciting for me because it's going to be my first time really diving deep into that class and seeing how far I can push its different mechanics. With all of that said, we're going to wrap it up here by saying if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to support the channel more than you already do just by watching, liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment, you can head over to patreon.com/iBluairJgR to become a patron. As always, the name of the game is Destiny 2, the name of the channel is iBluairJgR. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.